inspiration. Sometimes if you really in love, podcast. Bounce it back, it's the podcast. You focus on any of these things, it's the podcast. We know like this is the new year. Real life is a podcast. Some of the strongest women are still alive. The story remain untold, well until now. Come from the dirt, been through it all. Pray to God that he hear my call. I used to stumble, but I never crawled. I bounce back like a round ball. Come from the dirt, been through it all. Pray to God that he hear my call. I used to stumble, but I never crawled. I bounce back like a round ball. Peace and blessings to everybody today. Welcome to episode number 2 of Bouncing Back the Podcast. This is a podcast where I sit down with individuals who have overcome some of life's hardest obstacles. Today I got brother Hakim Crampton sitting down with me. Very powerful brother in the community, not just in my community, but all over. You know, any kind of injustice or just helping a young brother out, man, that brother is there. So I got a chance to sit down and, talk about his transformation, talk about the years behind bars, what made him transform into the man he is today. So we're just sitting here waiting. Give us 2 minutes. Brother Hakim Crampton will be sitting right down next to me. Peace and blessings, Bouncing Back the Podcast. Let's go. Finally got in the building. Let's welcome Mr. Hakim Crampton, y'all. What's up? Yo, Hakim.
What up?
How you be, brother?
You got it.
Peace and blessings, man. Glad you could join me here, on the podcast, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, thanks for welcoming me on. What up, dog?
Yeah. So what's up, man? How's life treating you? What's been going on with you?
Man, it's beautiful, man. It's a blessing to be here.
No doubt about it.
Life is a blessing, for real, because, it's short, it's temporal. We don't fully understand why we're here. But in the wisdom of it all and in the grace of it all, for those of us that are here, man, we blessed to be here.
Man, no doubt about that. So let's start at the beginning, man. Tell the people where you was born at, city, state, hospital, all of that. We want to start at the beginning.
Yeah, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? Well, we Jacktown bred, man. You know what I'm saying?
All day.
The thing about the Jack and the thing about, my family is that, everybody ultimately came here from somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? And that's how, all our roots are spread around, you know what I'm saying? And we got here at different periods of time, you know what I'm saying? My daddy and them came here in 1964 from Hayti, Missouri by way of Memphis. My mama and them, she come through 2 different factions of people. Her grandmother from Kentucky, her mother from Kentucky. Her father, he was bred in this little area, Napoleon, all that little area, you know what I'm saying? So my mother was always rooted here,
Okay. So you've been raised here. One thing you say your father, people was from Missouri.
Yeah, I'm Hayti.
Now, everybody already know you got a legendary father. In the city of Jackson, Michigan. Legendary. And now, when I was little, I always heard about him and looked up to him, and that was one of my mama peoples. You know what I'm saying?
Was always connected.
Real talk. So how was that growing up, the son, or the offspring of the legendary Pimpin' Sam?
Yeah. I think early on in my life, I kind of realized that, he had a different, status in life, in the community he lived in. I kind of recognized that early on. My mother was with my daddy, for almost 10 years, from the 60s up until the 70s, you know what I'm saying, all through Detroit. They lived in Detroit most of their life up until, we was babies and whatnot, me and my brother. And so I always kind of had that historical framework, you know what I'm saying? Right. And so, it was unique, man, because it kind of made me feel like I was connected to something that was special, that was meaningful. Mm-hmm. So I always knew that I had value. You know what I'm saying? I always knew that it inspired me, the life that he lived, even though he lived, on a hustle, on what they would call the underground, or something that technically is now legal, marijuana, you know what I'm saying? Right. He was one of the first hood dispensaries, you know what I'm saying, we had.
Dollar joints.
Of a major era, But, it was something special, man. It really was, man. It really was something special. And then he showed love to so many people.
Exactly.
And he was family connected and family oriented. And so that's what really gave me, the seed.
Right.
you know what I'm saying, the birth of who I was, who I became.
You know what I'm saying? Growing up in that area, can you remember what was your first run-in with the law or, you know, any of that? Can you remember way back then?
Yeah. So, you know, there's a lot of times there's the pre-law, you know, security and things of that nature, than the law itself. So I got to relate it back, man, because it's a true story, a true part of my birth, man, you know what I'm saying, and hustling and coming up, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, in the day, man, and this is before the Ye era, you know, this is before the street hustle.
Exactly.
So this is some of the earliest of our hustles, you know what I mean? You know, we had a little crew of individuals, man, that would go on shoplifting sprees. And we would hit Kmart, you know what I'm saying? We would hit Myers. This is the West Side Myers, where there wasn't really no streets really to it too often unless you go way around. So, you know, we had to cut across the highway coming from the north side, coming from the Shahan, coming from the whole north side area. And, man, me and Brad got caught. Me and Courtney, you know what I'm saying? We got caught. Shout out to Brad. And to be honest, man, keeping it real, we got caught because of me, man. I was being overly excited, you know what I'm saying, about the merch we had got, you know what I'm saying? We stole a lot of merch to sell merch is what we did, 'cause we had a lot of young people living in Shahan who had kids who used to buy stuff from us, you know, for their kids, you know what I mean? So it was a hustle for us. We wasn't really studying for ourselves, so to speak. But yeah, man, so that was our first hustle, man. I got a little carried away and was pausing when we got outside as if we had got away, and Brad was like, man, unlock the bikes, man, so we can go. Unlock the bikes, man, so we can go, man, for real, man. And I hesitated, man. I was putting pieces together on my bike and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? The people came out, snatched the stuff.
Locked down.
So that was the first time, man. The second time, really, which is the first law interaction, was me and Lil Damian Hall. We got scooped up, man, you know, playing around outside the hood, outside the Shahan, throwing rocks, you know what I'm saying, at certain people, man. Rocks always seem to have got me in trouble, you know, throughout my life, to be honest with you. Yeah, that's why I be telling my story, man, because a lot of kids play them games with them rocks, pick them rocks up and throw rocks, man. You could hurt somebody, severely injure somebody, you know what I'm saying, you know, hurt some property, you know what I mean. A lot of things can happen. That's why I focus the way I do with the work that I do, is because we got to find a way to build a better community where our kids is growing up with a different set of values and principles about how they're supposed to behave in life.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. So, okay, now the podcast is all about, you know, individuals that's overcome all type of, you know, hardships in life. A lot of people, I got more guests that's going to come on that, you know, been addicted to drugs. Can you tell me when you first started smoking weed and drinking? Do you remember that?
Yeah, no doubt, man. You know, I was always around marijuana because my daddy always had it. You know, he always moved it in front of us, you know, which is, you know, really a powerful message to people out there. If you is doing something, you know, that's considered to be illegal, you know, y'all got to hide that from y'all kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You really do. You know, so I was always around and always saw it. But the first time was really me, Brad, Ray and Don Eubanks, man. We were smoking weed together back in, you know, about the 5th grade, you know what I mean, at Hunt School. They had people, family that lived out in Hillsdale County, and they was growing weed way back then. Before we even understood anything about growing weed, gang, you know, the legalization of marijuana. They was growing it out there, and they was bringing it back in. And that's what contributed to my first sale, in all actuality. And this is a bit of a secret, you know what I'm saying? You know, that's where we got our first little batches of weed from that I ever sold. Me and any of the people that I ever really come up with early on, making moves like that. That's how I first came up, man. Ended up selling an ounce for $5. I didn't know it was worth. You know what I'm saying? But that was my first flip. You know, and I was at Hunt School, and I hid the weed at Hunt School. You know what I'm saying? So I had to take, you know what I'm saying, you know, rest in peace to the brother that's now passed on and bought the bag of weed from me. But he took me to where I had it hidden at the school. It was after school, but I had it hid at the school. You see what I'm saying? So that's why that was part of the history of how I was always hustling at every school I ever went to. You know what I'm saying? From Hunt to Parkside to Alternative to back to Parkside to J High. I always had a sack. You know what I'm saying? That's one way or another.
You say that, and like, I can remember us coming up, and then, man, you was so out cold and breakdancing. You know, I can remember that breaking, you know, and I was like, the next thing I knew, you was just like a drug seller. You know, and I was wanting to do, you know, just the breaking, you know, that lead into the street life of, you know, being on the south side selling drugs, because you was mostly north side
Right.
And
Yeah.
then,
We went to the north side later.
Yeah.
We left the south side. You know, we was bred on the south side, but we went to the north side. A lot of people went to the north side in 1982.
Right.
That's when Shahans was built, 1982. 1983, they built the Mormon Drive side. You know, we was already out there when they was building, constructing, tearing down, etc. So, you know, what people don't know about Jackson is Jackson was a hub for the underground, the hustle. It's a pass-through. It's the crossroads.
Okay.
That's why it's called the crossroads.
Right.
The train station go through here. It was a major central, you know, exchange on the bus, coming from Grand Rapids, you know what I'm saying, coming from Toledo, you know, coming from Chicago. You know, Jackson was a central hub. You see what I'm saying? And, you know, the prison being here too. But what people didn't know was that back when crack first really came to this community, because so many people from the south side and the east side moved into Shahan, you know, young, subsidized house, you know what I'm saying, people who qualify for subsidized housing. When the dope game came here, the young girls that lived out there, their boyfriends was the hustlers from Detroit with the bag. So from my earliest, you know what I'm saying, elementary school days, I was around these older cats who was in our projects who was hubbed up.
Right.
They was ducked off.
Yeah, laid back.
Laid
that
back.
was laid back. That was like
yeah,
a good
they
good
was
spot.
distributed the
That's
yay
right.
to the south side. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, it's right off the highway.
Right.
You know? But anyway, you know, you have to understand that we was and I'm glad you put it in that perspective, because we was breakdancing one year, man, and a few years before then. And I was dope, and I was on TV for it, you know, I auditioned for stuff, and all kind of stuff, you know. And the next year, we was selling dope.
And that's what I mean.
It happened just that fast.
like
And when I
like
tell
that.
people that, people don't understand that I really mean that. It literally happened just like that.
I literally saw you do that.
Yeah,
I saw you on commercials, and you know, you was basically like a breakdancing star in our community. And then the next time I saw you, you had a bag, a gun. You weren't worried about dancing no more. You talking stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I just saw that, and you know, that's hip hop.
Let me put the two things in perspective. That the year it all happened, this is what happened in that same year. I got locked up at Hunt School for throwing rocks or screaming with blank. I got locked up at Hunt School for throwing rocks. Those rocks always got me in trouble. You know what I'm saying? I was in the 6th grade, transitioned to the 7th grade, 1985. So this is a young year, you know what I'm saying? Well, it just so happened that when I went to the juvenile and had to serve time and then do a bunch of weekends, I ran into all the people that I already knew from the south side and east side that I grew up with all my life. Because I was always on the south side still, because my whole family on the south side. So I was bred on the south side, always was on the south side. And so coming in contact with all of them, and then that's the year that D.A. got shot. So when D.A. got shot, it changed the course of the streets. We was in the streets breakdancing with cardboard, riding bikes to Franklin homes, breakdancing against them cats. You see what I'm saying?
At the park.
Taking long rides all the way out to the Westchester Commons on bike to go breakdance out there. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, D.A. gets shot. Me, A. Harvey, them, Rob Walker, them. You know what I'm saying? We called ourselves China Bina Jr. at that time. You see what I'm saying? We was never official, but we called ourselves China Bina Jr. You know what I'm saying? We wore nameplates with our initials on it. You know what I'm saying? But we all then got pistols. All of us at the same time. I promise you, man, all of us at the same time when they got pistols, man. So we all been up on the side of Emmerich's and met up and showed our pistols that we had. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got one. We good.
Yeah,
like, now we felt like we was good. Just everything changed all at once. And I can't describe how it was, but it was like prophetic. It was like divine, because it was like fate. It was like, this is what was destined to happen to our community. And we was right there as it all was unfolding at the arcade. You see what I'm saying? We was right there. You know what I mean? And it just happened, man. It wasn't like it was an act of choice that we looked out there and seen it happen. It was like, you know what? We about to go hang up there on the block. And it didn't happen like that.
Like we were supposed to be doing it.
Right.
So, okay, all that going on. And then the next thing, you just like disappeared from the community, and you moved to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, right?
I went to Lansing.
Okay, Lansing.
Yeah.
And then I was wondering, how did you ever get to Milwaukee?
Yeah. So there's a few years in between me leaving, you know what I'm saying? It just so happened that I was, we come from the era where we rode bikes.
Right.
So me living on the north, we moved from the north side from Shahan, in 86 to the Crossroads, which now we downtown.
Remember.
And that's what the Rito and them was posted up at. You see what I'm saying? They had spots up in there. It was a hub. You see what I'm saying? So wherever I lived, I was always around individuals that had the bag. You know, was from the city. You know what I'm saying? And so anyway, I was riding my bike hustling. So wherever you saw me on the south side, I was coming from downtown, from Crossroads. You know what I'm saying? Right. My daddy had the south side. You see what I'm saying? Right. So I had to be careful over there because he couldn't catch me because he ain't like me hustling. He hated that. He used to scoop me up sometimes when he find out, come drive down. They say they seen him on the block. He come pull down on me, get in the car. Boy, what you out here doing? You know? But anyway, so make a long story short, man, because I was involved in the streets at that early age like that, I was in and out of juvenile home catching cases, my mama decided to get me out of here. So I was 15 years old, turning 16. I wasn't even 16 yet, but I turned 16 that year. In 89, we moved to Lansing. You know what I'm saying? So I went to high school up there. A lot of people don't know that history about me. But I went to high school in Lansing.
I never knew that. I think, Marshawn might have told me.
Well, you know what? We never connected up there the whole time. But as soon as I got up there in Lansing, man, you know, it was the summer. It was, you know, my mom made me go to summer school and whatnot. School came around. I enrolled in school. But, you know, one of our childhood friends, remember Nikki Sampson? From the north side. She from the north side, but Nikki Sampson, people who know, you know, So she moved to Lansing before us. So when I first moved up there, I was like, hey, who you know up here? You know what I'm saying? Like, who cool up here? You know what I'm saying? Because I was up there by myself all the time till I could connect. Like Eric Harrison was up there. Other people was up there, you know what I'm saying? But Ann Reed and them and all them, you know what I'm saying? JD and them was up there, you know. We ran into each other all the time. But anyway, you know, it was just, you know, starting off my life. So she connected me with the homie up there, Money Mike. You know what I'm saying? And his brother Money Moan. So we connected. They was originally from Muskegon, you know. And so we connected in jail and then went to school together. And because we come from where we came from, we both come from backgrounds in the streets and the hustle, etc. We jived like that. So we was in the streets up there in Lansing. So right away, within 2-3 months of me starting school in Lansing, I was already in the streets of Lansing. So now I'm deep plunged in the streets, in and out of juvenile, in and out of jail.
That's just what your mom was trying to get you away from.
Just what she was trying to get me away from.
Take you to Lansing, which is a bigger spot, and it even got a little bit more. So then it was the move to Wisconsin. How did it go from Lansing to Wisconsin?
Well, man, you know, a lot happened in them 2 years I lived in Lansing, fam. You know, like a lot happened in my life in the street. It was my formative years. I turned 16 up there. Sean Griffin got killed. You see what I'm saying? Back down here, but I was already in Lansing in the streets. You see what I'm saying? I went to the trial. You know what I'm saying? The Bibb and Mario. I went to the actual trial from Lansing. I came down here, but I was, you know, deeply connected in the streets like that, man. And so over the course of them 2 years, man, I got shot individuals, you know what I'm saying, got pistol whipped, you know what I'm saying, got locked up, you know, caught in dark cases, you know what I'm saying, just was deep in them streets. Because them streets was bigger than our streets.
You already knew.
Them streets was big, was more hoods, you see what I'm saying? It was bigger, you know, I seen more money up there, seen more yay up there, was connected to more plugs up there. Like, you know, I was deep out there, you know, turning 17. And then next thing you know, I caught a pistol case up there. Me and my homie Vernon just came down from Indiana, from the D. It was my homie, you know what I'm saying? I had a couple good homies I ran with tough, though. But, you know, we caught a case, man. We got caught with pistols, man, on our way to go do some devious stuff in the streets. We got caught cases. And while I was locked up, I went on ahead and took the little 4-month plea, you know what I'm saying? Took the little plea bargain, 4 months with 2 years probation. You see what I'm saying? So while I'm in there doing my time, because I'm from Jackson, because I'm from the streets, and I had beef, you know what I mean? Because I wasn't from Lansing. I'm beefing in the streets, you know, in the jails, you know what I'm saying? So I got in 5 fights up in that, boy, and they took my good time from me. You see what I'm saying? So I ended up having to do almost the whole, and they took, you know, majority of my good time. I ended up only earning a couple more good time days back, you see what I'm saying? But when that happened, my probation officer came to see me and said, look, we're about to violate your probation. The judge is, and he gonna send you to prison because you ain't even got out yet, and you in here fighting. And see, one of the fights involved, there's a lot of those stuff that happened in the streets. Some of my homies is dead now. You know, I ran into at the same time we was all going to court in the same bullpen. The cat had just, you know, murdered my homie in the streets. He had just murdered. You know how we is in the streets when we're young. The cat had just murdered my homie. cat who was in there, whose sister, whose house I popped up the house, popped her boyfriend. You see what I'm saying? Like in the streets, like I'm, being real. Like I'm telling you, I'm gonna bounce back from all of this. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so another cat, the first individual I popped was his, family member. You know what I'm saying? He was in the bullpen, so it was just a lot of chaos going in that bullpen. So. I knew that I wasn't going to really make it out of this in a good way. Right. So I knew I had to find the best strategic way to get my way up out of this situation. You see what I'm saying? This is a situation that caused me to end up having to go to Milwaukee. So it had played out where they was moving us on the chain gang to the court building downtown, Ingham County Jail. So my last name started with a C, so they call it alphabetical order. So they kind of called me early on. But everybody, when they opened the door, everybody ready to go, so everybody kind of piled up by the door, which was right to my perfect, just perfect opportunity. So I said, okay, everything played out good, so I'm on the wall, keeping my back to the wall the whole time because it was plotting. You see what I'm saying? I had to come up off and knuckle up once or twice, and they grabbed the cat. Was like, no, wait till we get downtown to the city jail. We can stump him down there.
To get at you.
Yeah, right here, the glass that where the police everywhere. You see what I'm saying? So the police open the door, they call our names, they call my name, last name C. I go walk up, my head down, you know what I'm saying? Like, excuse me, everybody. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I found everybody I could, man, especially the cat that killed my homie, man. You know what I'm saying? But rest in peace to Montreal Murchison, man. That young brother Juwan that killed him, he probably be coming home soon, But, the streets was real drastic for us, man. So in the midst of that situation, I hit the police. At least that's what the police said. Okay. So I ended up getting 2 obstructions, while I was in there. So they was like, we violating you. Right. So my probation officer was like, you gotta, only thing I can think of, if you find somewhere to go out of state, I can propose that to the judge as an alternative.
Yeah, just the legal state.
Yeah. My sister was from Milwaukee. My nephew was from Milwaukee, you know what I'm saying? So just so happened my nephew was in Jackson visiting family. So my mom was like, hey, talk to my sister, like, can he come up there and stay with you? I'm going to transfer probation up there. Right. So now, mind you, when I moved to Lansing, I transferred my probation to Lansing.
From Jackson to Lansing.
Yeah, my juvenile probation. So now I'm transferring from Lansing to Milwaukee. So now I end up getting out, going straight to Milwaukee. Right. 7 days later, man, that became the start of a whole new life. You see what I'm saying? Right. A whole new life from the life that I was used to coming up from, my background. Yeah. You feel me? Like, a lot of people don't really know my full background because I left here at 15, turning 16. Exactly. I left here in 89.
Yeah, young.
A lot of people didn't come off the porch till 93, yeah, 92, 95. You see what I'm saying? I was off and gone in the mid-early 80s, man.
That's right. So what was the difference between Michigan and Wisconsin?
Yeah. I noticed that right away when I got there. Wisconsin was a lot further behind us. You know what I mean? When you cross on the other side of Lake Michigan, the Chicago area, it's different, man.
Yeah, it is.
And they was like, they still wore perms.
Right, yeah.
They still drove big, long, old school caddies. You know what I'm saying? They still grew long nails. They still had cats in the streets that was young, 21, that was pimping. Yeah. Like, literally pimping in the streets, like something we did in the 60s and early 70s. Like, so there was a lot behind us, man. And so it was unique because I was so far a step ahead of them. You see what I'm saying? That I was ahead of the curve. Right. And everybody recognized I was unique and different. Right. From the outfit. Like, where are you from? Like, you're not even from here. Like, you're just so different. Right. So I kind of enjoyed that for the first few months I was there. That's really all I was there for a few months, man.
So I know that you caught a serious case up there. You did a lot of time up there. Do you mind telling what the case was and what was you charged with and all of that?
Yeah. And once again, it's the reason why I am who I am today. Exactly. Because of the things that I experienced. You know what I'm saying? So you can imagine the life I lived leading up to that. Here I am in Milwaukee, supposed to be starting my life over. I was supposed to go on Job Corps and all that too. That's part of my probation thing. Right. He got enrolled in Job Corps, so that's another story. That ended up not happening, man. I was waiting to get in Job Corps, is what the scenario was, and I was enrolled in MATC. And so I went and got a job at Ponderosa, right up the street on 76 and on 76 and Good Hope in Milwaukee. And this the deep north side. And met some homies, you know what I'm saying? I ended up getting cool with. They was from me. I wasn't from there. So we hung every day, smoked weed, drank 40 ounces every day. You know what I'm saying? And one night we was like, shit, let's go back to the store. You know what I'm saying? To get some more brew. Right. Before it get too late. You know what I'm saying? So it was almost 2. So we shot through the hood. We lived around. Me and my homie Mark and we locked up together. My other homie, we all lived on one block over, like 63rd, 64th, and 65th. Okay. Just we lived in different spots of it. You see what I'm saying? I lived off 64th and Flores, and we was all in my crib. And so when we get to the store, I'm in there drunk already. That's why we went back to get some more. You know what I mean? We, I had lost, focus. And so the people at the store, because I went in there every day, right across from the West Lawn Projects, I went every day. I respected the This Day store. Mm-hmm. We was raised with values, you know what I'm saying? Right. So the people told me to get out their store. Mm-hmm. So I respected that. Yeah. I ain't fun of snapping. You know how these young people, know. So I respected that. Like, all right, I'm out of here. On my way out the door, I bumped into a cat coming in the store. He was kind of in a hurry trying to get in and beat the 2 o'clock. Okay. We was kind of late. We got there late ourselves. It was shutting down, you know what I'm saying? So they put me out. So I bumped into my man, so I took offense to it. Like, what up, though? You know what I'm saying? So I seen him inside, and I seen him tucking his necklaces. I seen him taking off his rings.
Like his own. Like,
see? Yeah. You see? You got it, didn't you? You peeped that. And guess like what? He thought that I was trying to rob him. Oh. So he was tucking his necklaces and putting his rings up so I don't rob him. I didn't even know that that's what his mindset was at.
Different perception.
Yeah, I'm coming from a different.
It's a whole different
perception.
Two different perceptions on how you can handle stuff. I can understand it.
Yeah. So anyway, like a long story short, man, he came out and I put hands on him.
Right.
So I crushed him, you know what I'm saying, chased him down the street. Now even knowing he lived in the hood. He pulled up in the whip. He lived in the hood, he lived right down the street, chased him right to his crib. And this is all the irony of it all, you know what I'm saying? Well, another couple of, I ended up stalking this young brother. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to tell you the whole story so, so it can really be out there so people really know what led up to everything. So this is how it ended up unfolding. He ran to the crib. So I was like, oh, okay, he dipped and ran in the house. I don't know if he's going to get a pistol or not. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I fall back. Me and my little homie Mark, we fall back. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So we walked back up the block. It was in the wintertime. And so I peeped behind a little house, a little vacant little crib. I feel like, okay, nobody living here. So we kind of walked up in a driveway area behind the crib. He ended up coming back out because he left his whip up there. Okay. So he had a duffel bag. So I'm thinking in my mind, oh, he got a gauge or something in a duffel bag.
Right.
Now, I'm from the street, so I got a different mindset. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get this gauge.
Right, yeah.
I'm going to take his gauge. Yeah. You already know, right? So, man, listen, he got closer and closer and closer. And I ended up popping out on him, you know what I'm saying, from behind in the driveway. I had no space to get. And this fool seen me and dropped the duffel bag and shot back. So I scooped up the duffel bag, you see what I'm saying, chased him back. You know, so he ran back to the crib. As soon as he ran back to the crib, he popped back out the crib with his mama and his brother. Now you know me, right? So you know my whole life story, my background. Right. My mama white, my oldest brother white, my daddy black. Mm-hmm. So he come out with a white mama and a mixed big brother. Right. It was like my whole family scenario. Yeah. So his brother come out with a baseball bat. So they had a little white picket fence around their crib. So I broke a piece of their picket fence off. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We get the sword fight. Bam, 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 bam. We knocking. He break my little picket fence up. You know what I mean? So we retreated. It was a bunch of us. You know what I'm saying? They were just really there. A couple of other homies that was with me who ended up going to the joint with me. So they kind of retreated. We retreated back to the island. This is a big strip, 60th Street. It's an island in between. There's 2 lanes, an island, and 2 lanes. Okay. So we retreated back to the island. So I tell him, so put the back down, let's fight head up. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so he didn't want to do that. The police pulled up. I smashed off running. Me and Mark, we smashed off. We get away. My sister, brother Rodney, they got the same mama. Me and my sister got the same daddy. He get caught right on the block. I guess he ran and stopped. Uh-huh. Me and Mark run back to my crib. My other homie, Joe, had already left us a long time ago when I was chasing my man the first time. They left and bust up. Right. He bust up. So when we on our way running back to my crib, we ran into him in the backyard. So he wasn't even with me when none of this was even unfolding. Mm-hmm. He wasn't even outside when I was knocking with him. Right. He wasn't even there.
He wasn't even there.
Nah, he ended up going to the penitentiary with me, though. And so, it's sad, that's how I'm saying. Some of our actions cause other people to go get locked up, for real. Like I'm telling y'all the real background so y'all know, this is who I used to be. You see what I'm saying? That's so this is just one day in my life. Mm-hmm. And I had a whole lot of days like this. You see what I'm saying? Right. Growing up. So make a long story short, we run back to my crib. We tell him, come on, the police chasing us. So he come back with us, go to the crib. My sister brother tell the police where I live at. So they came to the crib and tried to get me, but I wouldn't let them. I wouldn't open the door. Y'all ain't got no warrant. You go get a warrant. Kick the door in, then y'all be in violation. So I'm talking to them when they came to the house.
Right.
You ain't got no warrant. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Belligerent.
Well, go tell the prosecutor that he told y'all I'm staying here. That's the, you know what I'm saying? So, cause I had been locked up already, going down to juvenile. I already had attorneys already because I was a child. You know what I mean? So anyway, man, the police waited on us. They waited us out. So one by one, my homie called the cab to come get him. The cab pulled up. He jumped in the cab. The police pulled the cab over. He in custody with my sister brother. See what I'm saying?
Right.
We wait, you know, it's like, you know, it's already after 2 o'clock, you know what I'm saying? By now, all this happening, you know. So, like, 4:30 in the morning, you know what I'm saying? My homie Mark, he lived right across, really, from me. I lived on 64. He cut through behind my crib, cut through some cribs, and he was able to bust out undetected if they was around still, you know what I mean? When he made it to the crib, he ended up going to work that day. You know what I mean? So, later that day, we get to calling up down to the police station. What's going on with so-and-so, my brother, you know what I'm saying? And my homie.
Right.
They saying they down there on felonies. Felonies for what?
Right.
I got to fight with this cat. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a one-on-one, you know what I'm saying? Nobody jumped him. Like, yeah, we chased him and did all this rah-rah and fought with the sticks. And you know what I'm saying? We ain't, you know.
Yeah, what's the felony, though?
Right. What's the felony? So we tripping. So now I call Greyhound. Give me a bus ticket up out of here. Like, I'm going to bus up out of here and be on the run now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at it, you know. So I scheduled me a bus ticket, man. Coming to find out, somebody from the old job I used to work at Ponderosa called me at the crib and was like, they just came and arrested your man's Mark. I'm like, what? While he was at work, they came and arrested him. I'm like, dang, for real? Then the police came, parked in front of my crib and just sat there. I'm like, oh, I'm about to get locked up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I started making preparation, like they trying to get me. So I thought I was going to try to bust up and escape, but I couldn't. Make a long story short, man, they got me in custody. Now, I don't even mind you. I think I'm coming in custody for this fight. I ain't even in custody for that. It's not why they coming like this.
Right.
Because when they first got my sister brother, got him downtown, you see what I'm saying, they started interrogating him, you know what I'm saying, because I'm sitting there, I had a sword fight with a man with the, what's the name, they started interrogating him about unsolved murders, crimes that happened in Milwaukee. Any of them that involved any assaultive situation, you see what I'm saying? They looking at like if he up here fighting people with sticks, then maybe he involved with that case with a stick, and that case with a stick, and that case with a, you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm fresh up here, I don't know nothing, you see what I'm saying? So he telling them a story of me getting in a fight. See, like I said, I let a lot of stuff happen in my life. I get in a fight with these Puerto Ricans off the south side of Milwaukee because they thought I was another cat from the south side that was in one of the other gangs they was beefing with. You see what I'm saying? So we get to knocking at Northridge Mall. You know what I'm saying? I end up hurting my knee and was on a cane, and then get to fighting with all these young cats, these GDs that thought I was a vice lord because I had a cane. So I was knocking with them, hitting them with the stick. So he telling the police all of these stories about me.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying? Like, and this is, I'm only been up there 2 months.
Right.
So I'm already in situations, and I ain't even involved in nothing in the streets. I'm just me.
Yeah.
So anyway, man, you know, they had an unsolved murder of a cat that got hit with a 2x4. And he was robbed, you know what I'm saying? And the cats got away, whoever it was got away. And this happened long before we was arrested, 3 weeks prior to us being arrested this night. So when the police get us into custody, that's what they want to question us about. What y'all know about this?
Right.
What you know, saying who, you know, and we ain't know nothing. We ain't had no knowledge of that. We ain't know what they was talking about. You know what I'm saying? So they end up coming at us all with accusations that all of us had fabricated. Well, because me, I know it's a fabrication that all of us had so-called confessed. So they came to me and said, "Yeah, Big Lou confessed.
Yeah.
He
said y'all did it.
He said his role. You know, you know what I'm saying? He's working on his deal.
Right.
So you better work on yours." And
trying to get you.
Then they came to you. It was like, yeah, boy Nate from Jacktown. Yeah, he got you, man. He already saying everything. Yeah. So they played that. And Mark believed him after like 4 or 5. We was locked up like 5-6 days in the city jail. He believed him and was like, "Damn, them cats done said I did something I didn't do."
Right.
So he said they did it. They must have did it.
Yeah.
So he signed a statement saying they did it. So now they got me charged with a murder that I wasn't even present for. You see what I'm saying? So that started the beginning of a whole new life.
Okay.
For me. You see what I'm saying?
I was tuning in.
You know?
You know? Yep. So how long did you have to do on that?
I ended up doing 15 years in the penitentiary.
Yeah. For a crime you didn't commit.
A crime I didn't even commit.
But just being involved in
just
that street life,
just being me.
Like,
You know what I'm saying?
Basically, your mom was trying to help you. You know, from Jackson, moving to Lansing, then going to Wisconsin, and it's just getting like a little worse and a little worse and a little worse. So I can understand. We're going to take a break right there, y'all. We sitting down with Mr. Hakim Crampton. Peace and blessings. Bounce Back to podcast.